Well, as promised, back at it. It's about just coming up to 9 o'clock in the morning. So it's 12 hours since I stopped work last night. Actually, what I was doing last night, you know, sometimes when you just think, oh, I'll give this a try, we were cleaning the underneath the car. We, as in myself and Austin, and then he went in to edit the video, and I lay under here with that. Let's put it on that setting. And what I did was I'll put it on that setting. This was sort of like surface rust on here, like little bits of, you know, rust. And what I did is I used the acid, and I went around it and I took off the rust. I just dissolved it away. I've been thinking what to do under here, because I don't just want to do the Raptor or a stone chip or whatever, because I mean it's that nice. But you see, the grey doesn't really work. That's just a 1K epoxy primer. You don't want that on there. And the white, I don't know. It's just like, it's not a rally car, and it's so original. So anyway, thinking about it, I went on the RS Cosworth Facebook group and asked if anybody knew what the colour reference was for the e-coat that was used here. And apparently, this is beige it is, it's called Dove Grey. And one of the guys on there actually gave me a picture of a pot of paint with the right reference number on it. So the moment I've got my paint guy, he's trying to match that up, see if we can get some DG, so like direct gloss paint to just paint over this. So what I could do then is I could just put a bit of scan sealer on it and then put DG straight on, and it would be effectively the same colour as this, and it would look original and new. So that was my evening. That's what I did then. Hang on, if I can get up. So we'll wait for the paint coat to come back off that, and if we can get the paint coat, then I'll order a litre of paint and we can do underneath that way, and then we can start, because it's all clean now, and then we can start putting brake pipes in, fuel lines in, fuel tank. The rear axle can't go in yet because I'm still waiting for the stuff from Autodoc. Now Autodoc, I mean, that's been an absolute hoot, because I ordered it and then they sent me an email saying still stuff in your basket. So I went to process it, and then it turned out I got a duplicate order, and then they called yesterday the delivery address, Ian's place, and they said I couldn't contact him, so they emailed me and I phoned them up, and it was all very confusing. Credit card and purchaser from Thailand with a delivery address in England, and 3 orders exactly the same. I said, 3 orders? He said, yeah, well, 2 have been paid for, and I could see from the credit card that 2 had been paid for. So I managed, fortunately, to get one of the orders cancelled, and apparently the other order is going through. But it's like a week after I actually initially started to order. So I don't know whether it's going to be close, tight to get those here. Well, say that, we've still got 24 days or something like that. I'll sort of stop counting on the board. I need to update that, but we have got 20 odd days. But that stuff, yeah, really needs to be turned around quick, get up here, and then get onto the axle so we can get the axle up. And then hopefully there's not too much of other new stuff that I need to buy. But what I'm about to do now, later on today, we'll look at doing the bumper brackets that we got from Robin at Clips and Bits. We'll look at getting those on the car. We've got the sunroof, other end of the sunroof is now in the acid, so we'll continue working on that. And what I'm just about to do now is, if I can find my phone. No, I probably lost that. I'm always putting my phone, there it is. Put my phone down and can't find it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk down the road to the machine shop. I've just marked up, this is a piece of acetyl resin plastic which I'm going to use as an intake adapter. So I just want them to bore a 66mm hole down the middle of it, and the rest of it I'll do myself. I'll do the clearance holes and the threaded holes for the throttle body and the plenum myself. I've got some punches, I can't remember what you call them now, but I'll show you when I do it. And I want this machine, oh, yeah, drop that on the door, I shall love myself for that. I want this machine down to make an adapter flange. So, off I go. Alright, literally a walk. There's the jungle there with the broken trees and whatever. Money was no object, I'd buy this land and turn it into more storage for junk cars. But obviously money is an object. Oh, and this one too. Wouldn't that be great? Have all that. Have my own personal scrapyard. Well, I've got one of them already. A bigger personal scrapyard. Furthest I've worked in here. Furthest I've walked in ages. Can't even say the word. Walked. Just round the corner into the... I'm going to put the camera away. I'm a bit shy about filming like this. This is the machine shop. Wasn't actually the answer I was expecting, because he said 3 or 4 days. That seems a bit excessive. Hopefully he'll turn it around quicker than that. Hopefully I'll get it back by Saturday, because I'd like to try and get a lump in this weekend. But to be fair, that doesn't really stop me getting a lump in. So I said it didn't really matter, as long as it's not 20 odd days. Right, it's taken me a few minutes to get my head around how this works. So this is for the left hand side, and that picks up on the lip on the inside of the bumper. I guess you can't pull that off until the bolt's out. Right, so that locks into the body. You slide the bumper on and it clicks, and then you put the bolt in, tighten it all up. So first thing I'm going to do is lock that into the body, and then find the location that I need to bond that on. So the bumper's supplied with these brackets which are height adjustable. What I don't have is anything on the car that seems to lock into that or bolt into that. I don't have the old brackets and the old bumper, and the silver car, funnily enough, doesn't have any either. So what I'm thinking here, and it could, well, I can't find a reference in the Haynes manual and there's not much online, but I was thinking of just doing a jam nut arrangement here. So funnily enough, there's a square hole here, a hexagonal hole there, and there's a little bit of metal in there that stops that nut from spinning. So it may well be the right thing to do anyway. But basically what I'm going to do is put the bumper on, wind the nut in, jam it onto the leg, the bumper leg, this thing down here, and then you can lock it off. Because without doing that, the thing is susceptible to wobble, and I don't know, I just don't like it being secure just on the wings. So it's going to be an improvement. It might be what it's supposed to be, but it's certainly better than not doing it. Right, that's helped an awful lot. I've still got wobble up and down because of the wings, but side to side has gone. Probably need to use longer bolts than I have at the moment, and get a jam nut in there as well. But now that's, I guess, stopped it from moving side to side. I'm going to try and get a ratchet strap around the bumper and pull these wings in. And once I pull these wings in, I'll be able to work out how to do a wing tip mount. So what was it they used to say? It's held together with string and bogies. Well, there's a string and this is bogies, but that actually, if it holds, that's not a bad body match. Wheel arch lines up okay. It's not that much under tension if the tape can hold it up. This is a little bit more stretch. I might have to drop the height down. Maybe it's just a bit tight under there, stopping it rotate. But we're in a position now where we can measure up for these brackets. And I dropped one. It went somewhere. Where did it go? Ooh, we need to find that. There it is. There it is. Right. So we'll see now. It's not far off. I don't know where the torch is. Don't know where that is. So I've got to work out whether or how to pack it out, because there's a gap between the bumper and the bracket. So I guess I just measure that. I'm gonna do that again. I can't really film and measure and adjust, but we're a step closer. I will put the camera down and try and work out where that bracket's got to go, and then work out what I'm going to use to pack it out, because there's obviously a gap between the wing and the bracket, and how much adjustment we get when it's on there as well. Alright, I'm going to have to get a jack and just jack this corner up, but basically, get in the way of the torch, we've got the space build up about a centimetre of material, and I'm wondering that perhaps I do that with the my favourite kiddie hair, the glass fibre reinforced stuff. I'm sort of thinking it through, and maybe we use that, and then we can bond or put some bolts in it, and then screw that bracket onto the plinth, make a plinth sort of thing. Could add to the general area and sort of machine it down to size. Roughly, yeah, okay. So I'm going to measure that gap and the position along the top, and then I'm going to make maybe some shuttering and fill it out, and then when it's all done I can drill holes in it and then set some nuts in, and then it can be screwed on. Might allow some small adjustability. Alright, measurement time or marking time. I just got a phone call. Special delivery. Special delivery. Special expensive. It's not coming around the corner yet. Can you guess what it is yet? Well, we know what that is. The funny thing is, they have opened it and they have inspected it. and they have perceived it to be worth more than I paid for it. That's why they hit me so hard with the tax. So Thai Customs rate gas shocks. I think they're worth more than they sell them for. So everybody should pay more for them now. So right, these things here, these are brilliant. These are long nib pens. They allow you to get alongside things and inside things and whatnot. So using my long nib pen, I couldn't find a white one. I have to order a new one. I mark the position of the brackets, left and right. So the only thing I forgot to do is measure the gap between the bracket and the bumper, because there's a gap there that's got to be built up. So I need to put the bumper back on to measure the gap. So I didn't get the same distance from one side to the other. That I measured at about 20mm, and this was about 10mm, which means the bumper probably isn't centre yet, or something like that. So I think to make both sides out the same would be trouble. I think adjustability is the key to it. So instead of just blocking all that out with fibre and casting some studs in it, I'm thinking we need the space. So I'm going to make a metal plate that follows this profile. The metal plate that follows the profile can bond onto there, and we can weld some studs coming out of it, and then can have spacers or lock nuts or whatever. Spacers probably better, but I guess to set the right height you could use lock nuts, and then when you set the height, cut down some plastic tube or something, or use block to set it for good. So yeah, I'll make a template of this profile and knock up a plate first. Alright, so that's my little paper template. It goes on there, and then I think what I can do is dimple those and then recess the stud in it. I'll just chop off a bolt, but if I've got a recess I can hide the weld in it, and then it'll still sit flush on there, and then bond it all in, and then that will slide onto the studs. Yeah, so I'll make the template for the other side and then get to work making two of these, because they're handy left and right. So that's the first bracket on there, just taped into place, and the idea is that that mounts onto there on studs, and we can adjust it out to suit the tip condition with the wheel arch. So just run the gauntlet and gone down to the nut and bolt shop. I don't have press fit studs there, so what I'm going to try and do is use a countersink sunk screw bolt, and yeah, drill it to 6mm, put it in there, and then whack it so it causes its own depression. Whack it over a socket or something, and then maybe tack weld it in there and then grind it flush. So probably only using, maybe I grind the head down first a bit. Yeah, that'll be tidy, won't it? Grind the head down a bit, get it in there, whack it so it's flush, and then put a little blob of weld on it just to hold it, and that'll give us my flush screw heads to go in there. So drill the holes first. Alright, so this is what I'm into now. Seems to go on to here quite well. I just now got to work out, I can use dozens of washers as spacers to start with, and then once I've got the right the right space, cut some plastic tube down or make some blocks or something like that, or just put another set of nuts in there for now. But what I've got to do is, obviously it's all loose, so I need to zap a blob of weld onto the back of this screw head to fix it. Otherwise you'll never, well, if you do them up, you'll never undo them. Alright, just some spot welds on there, just a couple on each screw. See the other side's penetrated. Okay, and I'll just grind the heads off them, keep it as flush as possible. So I've got two sides of bumper side brackets now made, and then what I'll do is refit the bumper, and then I can slide that forward and backwards, in and out, right, in and out, and just get the exact position that I need it and mark it. And then what I can also do is find out how much space I need between the plastic bracket and the bumper bracket, and that should be perfect. And then all I need to do then is put some holes in this bracket here and then glue it on there, gel it on there. I think that works out really quite well. The gap doesn't appear to be as much as I thought it was, which is great because it's all adjustable anyway. If I just built it up, I would probably, yeah, gone off in the wrong direction. That's okay, that's all good. So I need to mark the position on both sides of the metal plate, and then find a way of bonding it to the fiberglass bumper. So I'm just trying to work out how to stick this onto the bumper, and rather than just put it on there and put fibre stuff over it, I think I'm going to notch it to get the disc here and put a slot there, and then like that all around it, a slot there, and then I can put the stuff behind it and squidge it on there, and hopefully the resin will sort of push through the slot, and then when it sets it sort of holds it on there. I think that's not a bad idea. I'll try that. Does anybody know why that is painted white on the rack? Were they all painted white? We don't know. We don't like it. It's coming off. Right, there's another thing. I've just painted those. They've got this like things going off on them now to grab hold of the fibres, like a mashed potato masher. Because one of the things that I really hate is rusty hardware on old fiberglass like that. I just can't stand it. That's from the old car, but I just can't stand stuff like that. So it hopefully won't go rusty. Once that's dry, I will attempt to bond it to the wings. So that's the first one bonded on there now. One thing I did just realise is that the bolts are slightly too long, but not that long that they interfere with anything too badly. Could probably cut them down with an angle grinder, wind a nut on there first, zip them off. We'll see. We'll see whether I have to or not. Anyway, that's on there now. And I shall do the other side. I'd film it, but it's all a bit difficult with space and whatever. I think you can get the, you know, get the idea from like stages, steps. We now have mounted brackets. They look good. They look like they should work. So it's time to get it on the car and see. That's looking all right there. And it's all hooked in there nice. But this one actually it just pulled itself off the bumper. I only put a tiny bit of the resin on there, so I think I better have another go with more resin and pile it up outside as well. I just had it sticking on the back and oozing through these little finger things. I think it wants to, this side had quite a bit of resin because there was gaps to fill. This didn't have any gaps, so I think I need to, yeah, I'll maybe leave it to set a bit longer because it still feels a little bit soft there. You can see where it's just pulled off. Maybe it's to do with the paint as well. It doesn't like having the paint on there. Ooh. That is alright. You can see that. You've got a torch there, mate.
Yeah.
Which side are you?
This side.
Right side, this side. That is alright. Pull the wings right in. Where's this side? Give me a torch. Cheers. I'm not sure. Yeah. Look at that. All locked in there with the bolts right the way through. Smashing, lovely jubbly. Bish bosh, job done. So, bumper's on. So now the bumper's on, I can take it off again and prep it for paint. I think that's almost it for today, but we've got one thing. Russell's just turned up. Russell, do you want to open these boxes up?
Okay.
Say hello, everybody.
Hello.
So pretty eventful, really. Got the guy down at the machine shop. Got the shocks in. Got the bumper on. The rack's being cleaned. Austin's now working on cleaning the back axle. Close off some big jobs like this, we're making progress. I've got to work out whether or not that bumper needs to go in more though. Just looking at it, yeah, I think it does. But that's just yeah, it needs to go in more. That's just a case of adjusting it. Now, tightening it up. Right, this is our stick it 40 meters of, which grip's this then? 120. So I think I got 80. I hope I got 80. I can't remember actually. Maybe I didn't. No, I didn't because I couldn't get any. 120. This should be the blue, and the blue apparently is even better than cut and filler. The guy that I've ordered the spline off, the long board for doing this sanding, he said I could expect to have it by Friday. Cool, right. I've no idea why these would be open, but pull it off. $180, and that should be $240. And the other thing that we've done is, where's the torch again? Where's the torch again? Right, here's the torch. Yesterday I was on about cleaning up under here. Sorry, let the camera work. And what I managed to do is get the colour code for this Dove Grey under here. And what I've done is I had to buy 3 litres. It cost a fortune, it cost as much as the paint for the whole car. I got 3 litres of direct gloss top coat in that colour. So it's not an e-coat primer, this, that and the other, it's a top coat gloss. And what I can do is put a sealer on there and give it a top coat, and we're going to do it semi-gloss as well. So it's like an eggshell or semi-gloss, and we can paint all the underneath up. So if I can get that paint tomorrow, we get that done, we can start putting in brake pipes, start putting in the fuel tank, start putting the back axle up. So happy days. Thanks again. Like, subscribe, comment, and share if you feel it share worthy. See you tomorrow. Cheers. Bye bye. This, I'm hoping, is the last of Ratty. If I find any more evidence of Ratty, I shall probably just sigh and say, oh no, not again.